So, what happens when the person everyone depends on finally falls apart? What happens when you have spent years being the strong one, the reliable one, the one who carries everyone else? And somewhere in the process, you lose yourself. Because heartbreak is not always so romantic, right? It
Yeah.
isn't. Sometimes the deepest heartbreak comes actually from abandoning yourself while trying to save everyone else. And today's episode, I'm so happy, is for every woman who is exhausted from carrying the emotional weight of everyone around her while silently struggling on the inside. So, welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of From Breakup to Badass. I'm Yanira Puy, speaker, wellness coach, and your guide through healing, reinvention, and becoming the badass that you were meant to be. And today's conversation is going to be amazing, powerful, honest, emotional, and deeply needed. Joining me today is Danielle Rocky. I don't know, like I didn't ask if she wanted me to call her Rocky, but Rocky Rochester, a retired law enforcement professional, speaker, author, and founder of the Rock Your Crown movement. So, after 25 years of carrying a badge and quietly carrying everyone around her, she now helps women stop shrinking and start showing up boldly. I'm sorry,
It's okay.
intentionally, and I love this word.
Apologetically.
Unapologetically. Oh my
Right.
God. Like, you need to show me some English here. But she's also the author of the upcoming memoir, They Needed Me Strong, which is a raw and honest account on what it cost to always be the strong one. So, is it Danielle? Danielle? Rocky? What is it?
Whatever you're comfortable with. I'm okay with Danielle or Rocky.
Well, so welcome.
Thank
How are you doing
you.
today?
First, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I was so honored when you agreed to do this. And
And in
I'm
person,
super excited.
right?
Yes, in person. That when you
That
said
changed everything.
online or in person, I was like, in person. Then so I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's so great. Okay, I want to go ahead and ask you the first question because you have such an interesting story. And I think so many women are going to see themselves in the conversation. At least when I was introducing yourself, I'm like, that's me. I'm always the strong one or the crazy one. I don't really
It's
know.
a mix.
It's a mix of that. Like you can tell that she's the crazy one too. But what does being the strong one actually look like in real life? And when did you actually realize that constantly carrying everyone else was slowly actually, costing you pieces of yourself because you lose yourself in this.
Yes. It's interesting that I didn't realize it until recently. And I've been doing it all my life. I really didn't really do a deep dive until I decided to name my book They Needed Me Strong. And that's within the last 3 months. I was like, wow.
Well,
I
I
didn't
I,
even
I
put two
want
and two
to I want
together.
to know the story, and I
So
know our audience want to know this story as well.
so growing up, I grew up a very untraditional life and ahead of my years in the streets with my mother and my father. And I was taught to be strong and be this person who can just withstand it all. And in the midst of growing up, in the midst of living that type of lifestyle, you just do it automatically. And you don't even realize what's what you're leaving behind is yourself. Because at a young age, it's like your parents teaching you the foundation of doing something and it sticks with you. So that's just like your second nature. And moving forward, my mom passed in 2016. I'm the oldest. So I had to continue that. It wasn't even like, oh, I get a break, right? Now I get a break because she's passed. But you think with some things happen, you get a break. I had to go again full force. And it was just continuous. And it was sometimes that I sat down and said, wow, how are you doing? But if I fall apart, everybody fall apart. I knew that. So I couldn't allow myself to fall apart. So I didn't even give myself those moments to be able to fall apart. So I was like, listen, this is what you was taught. This is what we do. And this is part of the game. No matter what you're going through, you have to just pick up your pants, pick up the pieces, and keep it moving because life goes on. And then recently, when I decided to name my book, They Needed Me Strong, I was like, damn, I didn't realize I was doing this all my life. And my mother, she was a pillar of Harlem and she did it. And to be honest, she passed suddenly. And I believe that it was between heartache and her carrying everybody. And it came a time of point, and it's unfortunate that I say, y'all ain't gonna kill me. Y'all not gonna kill me. I gotta worry about me. So, but that was recently.
Wow, wow, it's so interesting. So how did you come up with the name of the book, and what makes you realize that you were in this loop?
So, I was doing all the things that we do as writers, writing down our thoughts, going through the, systems that we have. And I came up with like three different titles. And interestingly, I threw them in AI and was like, well, what you think about this? Right? AI, here we go.
What
And
did Chad said?
and because I've been working with chat so long, it broke it down to me on the titles. And that one was like, oh, it I had never even thought about it. Because again, I was just in autopilot, autopilot, autopilot. And I retired last October and we moved in December. And it's been a breath of fresh air because I'm still connected to my family, right? But I'm at a distance. So now I can kind of like focus on myself without getting the minute calls. So, oh my God, their emergency is your emergency. So I just made it plain and simple like, listen, your emergency is not my emergency. I need to take care of myself. I'm still here for you guys, but I need to take care of myself. I'm the oldest of two siblings, and I have a son and a grandson and a wife. Right.
She's so young. I don't even have a pet. I think it's interesting, I'm writing my book, and I think I was recording one of the episodes of the podcast, the last one, and while you talk about trauma and everything that you get from your parents as well, it's it's very interesting how that can have a toll on your life, right? Or at the way that you behave. And I have seen it with my brother. Like, so my I'm the youngest, so I'm like, they always worried about me. Thank you guys. But you guys have so much responsibility in the family. So that's one thing, that the oldest, you always have to take care, or you feel like you have to take care, which is not true.
Right.
The thing is that your parents, they didn't know. I mean, like, we don't come with instructions that, like our parents, they're not going to know, like, okay, what to do.
Right.
So they put so much pressure on the first kid. And then as women, we love to nurture everybody. And I think that's when we lose ourselves, because we want to, like, yes, you're a grandmother, you're a mother, and then you're a wife, and then you're law enforcement. Like, you're so many roles, but who are,
Who are
who
you?
are you,
Who are you?
right?
Yeah, who are you? I couldn't tell you that
Like, forever.
forever. Right. I can tell you all the hats that I wore, but I couldn't tell you what the D hat was.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm getting to a place that I'm figuring that out and getting a rhythm of being in
Mm-hmm.
my own rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been actually a culture shock. I'm be honest with you. Think about it, 25 years I'm serving and now I don't. Right. So that's a whole nother commitment that I have to my community, to the public, to everybody else. And then I come home and have this extra, not extra, but this also pressure of family. And where do you find yourself? And I think it's interesting because my wife, she was like a blessing, right? She's very big on me getting my rest, me doing too much. She she don't
I
care.
love her. I love her already.
She would pump my brakes in a minute. She'd be like, I don't care how much money it is.
Hmm.
I don't care. I need you here. I need you to sit down. And she'd be like, sit your ass down. I need you to sit down. Pump your brakes. That's what she's telling me. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes. And I'm like, what you mean? You doing too much.
Hmm.
And one day I had to ask myself, am I doing too much because I'm doing too much? Or am I doing too much just to stay busy? Because
Hmm.
I don't know how to sit still.
I don't know if it's only that. Now that you're saying, sometimes we stay busy because we don't want to face the reality, and maybe the reality is that we don't know who we are,
Yeah.
and we're afraid to ask. I there is a phrase, I mean, everybody says it, maybe I heard it from Tony Robbins, but he said the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself.
Mm.
And that was so profound. And sometimes we're afraid, and this is why, like, some of us smoke, some of us drink alcohol, some of us watch too much TV.
Right.
Why? Because we don't have we every time we do that, we're numbing ourselves,
Yeah.
so we don't face the truth,
Face
because
the truth.
sometimes we have to do the work, right?
Yeah. The
And
hard
that's like,
reality.
oh my god, it's like I have to leave my comfort zone. I don't want to. I just want to be watching Netflix.
That hard reality.
Mhm.
It hits you. And I've learned to listen to her.
Mhm.
Maybe I might not listen to her in that moment because I'm so busy doing what I'm
Yeah.
doing, but I've learned to listen to her and appreciate that I have somebody that pays that
Mhm.
much attention to me. And then if she sees me too busy, she'll say, everything all right? You good?
Mhm. She knows you, girl.
She know me. She
Mhm.
know me.
Mhm.
And I've learned to appreciate that because again, it wasn't a norm growing up, but I think everybody was in the same momentum.
Mhm.
So you didn't look back and say, "You good? You okay?
Mhm.
You going through something?" It was just like, "Yo, put it. This is what we supposed to
Yeah.
do."
This is what we have to do. Like,
Yeah.
go and do it, right? So, at what point, Rocky, did the strength become survival instead of empowerment? Because that's, you're being the strong one for the family, but I think sometimes, as we just said, sometimes we do that because we don't want to confront ourselves, and we keep living in survival mode and not really empowerment.
So, oof, I don't think it was until my late adulthood that I started not living in survival mode
Yeah.
because I knew nothing else. I think when I got to a certain place, I'm like, you, and I don't, survival mode for me was just going, 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 but also I'm also goal orientated. So I'll set a goal and I'm like, I gotta do this. Say for instance, when I moved out of Harlem, I didn't even know what it was to buy a house. I actually thought I couldn't afford a house. And I was in law enforcement. I thought it was too far fetched because of where I came from. And I started putting myself in different networks and was like, oh, they got houses. They could do this. I think people think or see me and see when I do something, they think, oh, you got it all figured out. I'm like, I ain't got shit figured out. I just figure it out. But that's part of my survival mode and part of my hustle. And I'm like, I see this, I want it, and I'm gonna go get it. So I think it goes hand in hand sometimes, but you just have to identify which one you're doing. And sometimes I don't know
Still,
still because I'm so used to it. Yeah.
I love it too that, sometimes maybe in the business that we are of guiding women or other people, they think we have things figured out. And when I interviewed Brian like several weeks ago, I was like, no, we're still like, I don't want to say fucked up, but I mean, we're still in the process of figuring out.
Yeah.
The thing that I think sometimes differentiate one person to another is that we are aware.
Right.
Just like you said,
Right.
like sometimes I'm aware,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm doing this, sometimes I don't know. So we're aware. And the only way that we're going to change our lives is just to be aware of
Yes.
what we feel. And I want to ask you something. So, can you talk about what it feels like to always lose yourself while still showing up for everyone else?
It feels at some point you be numb. So it's not a feeling. You're just showing up. And like I just mentioned, when you know that whoever you're supporting or whoever they're there for at the time, if you break, they're going to break. I can't allow myself to break because I won't get the support that I need because you won't be able to give it to me. So I just tough it out and I'm there for you. It's like,
Wait.
so say
What do you mean? Okay.
for instance, give you an example, my mother passed. I'm the oldest. If I break in this moment, my siblings won't even know how to react to it. My siblings won't even know how to comfort me. And then I start worrying about them. So instead of going through that, I tough it out and say, hey, I deal with it when I deal with it, but I need to be all right for them. So you find yourself in these moments in life that people are so dependent on you and so looking for you for that strength. If you break, they won't even know how to comfort you.
I
So
think,
you're just broken.
yeah, but I think sometimes it's because, you know, we teach people how to react with
Yes.
us.
Yes.
So, you know, like the other time I'm like to my brother, like, oh, my computer just broke, like this computer is a new computer, thank you, right? And he's like, he sends me money. I'm like, I don't need money, I need somebody to listen to me, you know.
Right,
But
right, right,
he
right.
has behaved with me in the same way
Gotcha.
all the time. I
Okay.
don't need that. Like, I'm
Right.
a very emotional person. I just need emotional support because
Right.
sometimes we break when, you know, like that happens, the computer, the same day that my fire alarm
Mm-hmm.
went out, like the whole night
Mm-hmm.
saying, low battery, beep, beep, low battery, beep, beep, the whole night at
You
11
see
o'clock. And I didn't
surprised.
have any battery. So, of course, I didn't sleep. Of course, I was kind of emotional. I'm like, Warren. And he's like, he sends me money. I'm like, I don't want money. I want somebody to listen to me. That's it. So I think sometimes people behave that way, being the strong one,
Because I teach them to.
because you taught them that was the way. And it's easier
Yeah.
for them to, and I don't want to say use you, but I
Yeah.
mean, it
No, I get
feels
it.
like you like it,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
they think, you know, if
Right.
she likes that,
Right.
great. I don't like it, you know?
I remember at one time I got overwhelmed and I told my brother and my son, I said, y'all making me feel like my mother and I don't
Mhm.
like it. Y'all gotta
Oh,
stop.
wow.
Y'all gotta stop calling me. I can't deal with it. It was just too much.
Hmm.
One after another. This one going through that one. It was just like back to back to back. And I'm still trying to get my own life together. I'm in the midst of trying to retire. It was just a lot going on. And I was like, I can't. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta figure it out. And y'all at an age where I'm comfortable saying that. None of y'all
Hmm.
teenagers, none of y'all, we're still figuring this stuff out. But you at an age that I'm comfortable saying, use me as the last resort.
And have they?
Yes, they've listened.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
they've
good.
listened.
Okay.
Because I don't say it that nicely.
Okay, that's something that she has to learn how to say nicely. Maybe
No, no,
no.
I just curse everybody out.
Okay.
Because you
Everybody
have to
has
know
their
how
own
to
thing.
you have
Yeah,
to know how to communicate with people.
that's true. That's
Right.
true. And everybody's different. Yeah.
And I know who I'm dealing with. I wouldn't talk to
Oh,
anybody. I
okay.
know who I'm dealing with. So when I say it nicely, they don't listen. So I have
Okay.
to curse everybody out. Then they like, oh, she's serious.
Oh, you mean like we're asking for too much? Sorry. Okay. I think, you know, many women listening to this conversation can relate in the sense that, you know, it feels like sometimes we're always there for everybody. Like when I was married, and this is how I felt. It doesn't have to be this way
Right.
because this is me. But I felt like, you know, I'm cooking and I'm doing everything and like I don't know, right? And after my breakup, I lost that person. I felt like is I didn't lose,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I lost part of my identity, big part of my identity because I was, oh, like, oh, I want to go to the movies. Okay, let's go to a movie. Maybe I want to stay home, but who cares about me? Like, I'm so flexible that whatever. So I think many women listening are still, getting up every day because we're the strong one to work, maybe taking care of family, kids, whatever it is, smiling, actually functioning, right?
Yeah.
While carrying this enormous
Wait.
emotional pain privately. What did healing actually look like for you behind the scenes? Did you start a healing before?
No, I just started asking myself those difficult questions. Like, how are you feeling while doing this? Right? Like, I've always had, so my mother didn't have boundaries with helping people. She would just go above and beyond. And when I brought up to her, I think they're taking advantage of you. Or I wouldn't, because again, we should just curse each other out. That was our love language in a good way. And she'll be like, she'll turn to me and she go, "You think I'm stupid? I know that, but I'm not gonna stop." Pretty much, she was just saying to me, with in so many words, "I'm not gonna stop what God put me here for because of how they're treating me." And that right there tore me up multiple times, like years. So I always created a boundary with people, but I'm also a nurturer, right? And then I wore all these crowns. I call them crowns, hats.
Mm-hmm.
And you find yourself falling into it. And you like, how the hell did I get here? I always said I didn't want to be like my mother. And look,
Wow. Mm-hmm.
I'm like my mother.
Aren't we all? Mamita, I love you.
And it's, I'm not saying that in a bad way, right? But I had to check myself and say, listen, that's when I had to tell them, like, this is how I feel. Because how I'm feeling is very much of what I was seeing. So now it was in my face. And I was like, I don't like this. But she never spoke up. So I was like, I have to say it. I have to let you know. Because if I don't, that's my, like you said, that's my problem, right? So it was just me being honest with myself. Am I comfortable doing this? What are my boundaries when I do it? And who are my boundaries, right? I'm not doing this for everybody. I'm not extending myself to everybody. And your emergency is not my emergency. That's a big thing, right? Especially because I done moved all across country. Your emergency is not my emergency. It has to be my emergency for me to get on a flight to come back to New York for something, right? And if it's not, it's gonna be an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So, I had to create those boundaries with myself and with everybody. And I'm okay with that because I'm really not a person that deals with a lot, like a lot of foolishness, I should say. So it came pretty easy for me, but it was just me identifying it and saying, okay, no more.
Right. And I hope that you guys are listening to this because it's when she realized that she could change,
Yes.
not before.
Mm-mm.
And again, we go back to being aware. That's the only way to change for the better, right? If we're aware of our limitation, of our pattern of what we do, so we don't like, and maybe, all the things that, like the good things that we have, we can use that to heal, to grow, to learn, and the things that limit ourselves. Okay, how can I change this? How can I, or what can I do? What are the peoples that I need or the
Yes.
tools that I
The tools that
need
I need,
to
right?
become better? Because I think, the, life is about being better every
Yes.
day.
Every
It's
day.
like, maybe just today be 1% better than
And yesterday.
yesterday.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Again, we just said like we're fucked up still,
Yeah.
but we can get better every day, right?
Yes, definitely. It's taking that, putting that one foot in front of the other every day. And yes, everybody deals with things differently. Everybody have different struggles and
Yeah.
obstacles in their life. So it's not as easy as we may put it, right?
Yeah,
Our life
it's
may
not.
be right, But when you do put just that foot in front of the other every day, I had a friend. She used to tell me she was going through a very bad sickness. She used to be like, Rocky, I can't get from under the bed. And then when she called me, she'd be like, Rocky, I got from under the bed today. Right? That was her. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. But when she did, she was like, I got from under the bed today. Cause she was putting her first, so it's us putting that effort no matter what stage we're in our life, career, entrepreneurship, motherhood, whatever, caregiver, wife, husband, whatever. You just have to keep going forward and set goals for yourself. What goal do I want to reach this month? Personal goal. And it's not a financial goal, not a goal for everybody else. I want to get new furniture for the house. No, no, no. What is this personal goal that I want to do? Right? I want to tell myself 10 affirmations this week. Start little, right? Everybody think that we have to do these big gigantic things. I have a alarm set on my phone, and I've had it set on my phone ever since I was in that mastermind with Ash in 2020. My why. And it comes twice a day, in the morning and in the night. And it reminds me, it's an alarm, like I'm going to work. It reminds me of why I'm continuing to do what I need to do for that little girl in the window. I have a saying.
Oh, of course, it's you, the girl in the window.
Right.
Of course. I love that. Look, I think it's important that we understand what you just said. Just she said, baby steps. That's
Yeah.
that's what it is. You just need to see your feet.
Yeah.
That's it. And let's see if you're driving, maybe in the side roads and it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I mean, maybe you're going to like from Atlanta to California. It's a long trip, whatever. Bear with me. And there are no lights on the streets, right? You just need to see what's right in front of you. I don't know,
The
one
white
10
lines.
feet.
Yeah.
I don't know how good they are, like 10 feet, but you get there. You get from Atlanta to California. So what you're saying is that we just have to do the I love that I love that you said the example of your friend. I got up this morning because that's the other thing. Sometimes we underestimate those little steps.
Mhm.
You talked about goals, but goals is, oh, I want $1 million. Okay,
Right.
but what do you have to do to get $1 million? Maybe you need to wake up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's make it more real. Okay, let's say I want to lose weight. Maybe stop drinking sodas from Monday to Friday.
Right.
Believe me, you're gonna lose some weight.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose some weight. So it people they underestimate the power of those small changes. And also when you said she calls you and she was so excited about it, when you celebrate those baby steps, that thing that you did, I got up. I didn't want to get up, but today I got up. When you celebrate yourself and you say, Janita, maybe you can do a self
Yeah.
the self high five, right?
Yourself. Yes.
And when you do that, that goes to your self esteem, and self esteem goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Something as simple as that.
Yep.
Getting up, be grateful of you, right?
Yes. Eric Thomas says something, and he say a lot, but one thing that he sticks with me. We very quick hold other people accountable. Your charge card got charged and you didn't. We want to call the company. We want to curse them out. Tell them we need our money back. We want to somebody. We go into fast food. They didn't serve us properly. You supposed to be doing this, but when we don't do what we got to do, we not holding ourselves accountable. You like, oh, you just let yourself get away with anything. When are you going to start holding yourself accountable to the things that you said that you wanted to do? And again, it's not easy. We have obstacles, we have bumps in the road. But after a while, you have to look back and say, wait, I said I was going to do X, Y, and Z, and I ain't did nothing this week. That's a problem because you're not holding yourself accountable. So, how are you going to get to those minute goals to get to those bigger goals? So, that's what we have to do, be more aware of too, holding ourselves accountable and being honest with ourselves and stop bullshitting ourselves.
I think that's beautiful. in the first part of what you were saying right now, it's always blaming everybody else from our situation. Let's not say problems, right? Our situation. Uh, like, oh, I got a ticket. Why? I mean, you were speeding, and that's the accountable part of it, right? And this is so important because if we live our lives as victims, we're never gonna be responsible and accountable for our life. And just I always I talk about Tony Robbins, like his latest book or the one that I read, Life Force. Um, he says it's all about health, right? But he says you need to behave like the CEO of your own health and make informed decisions that are going to make an impact in your
Yep.
life, in your health. But like it's the first part. You are the CEO of you, period. And something else that I really like to say, because I understood it, is that nobody's going to come and save you.
Oh yeah, no.
Nobody's going to come and save you. Nobody's going to, live your dreams. If you want to write a book, nobody's going to write it for you. I mean, well, you can.
They will, but it's
Well,
gonna cost a lot of money.
you can hire a ghostwriter, but still, you need to talk to the
Right.
ghostwriter and tell them your story. So you have to do the things for you, and this is so important.
Yeah.
I want to talk about rock your crown movement. Okay. So you went from law enforcement to creating the rock your crown movement. And that's such a powerful transformation. Tell me about it.
So I'm into fashion. I love fashion. It's just I've always been
You can
fashion.
see her, right? You have to see her whole outfit. I'm going to take a picture later.
I've always been into fashion. And hats is my thing, whether it's caps, fedoras. So I was like, I want to come out with my own hat line one day. I want a high-end fedora line. I'm working from the bottom up, right? I'm getting there. And with that is women walking into rooms and owning the spaces, right? And that's even before anybody, you say anything to anybody, because they're judging you. When you walk in that room, 3 to 5 seconds, they judging you, right? So whether you have a bit, whatever you want, whether it's you wanting a promotion, you wanting something in your life, you have to present yourself well. Even just think about it. We're going out when we look good, we feel good.
And people notice.
And
Is
people
it my,
notice,
yeah.
right?
You could be ugly, ugly, but if you feel it, just like the movie, oh my God, I need to, but yes, yes.
Right? So us owning our spaces, lifting each other up, understanding that I might have to fix your crown even if mine's is tilted.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, that's true.
That's a part of it.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
just about you or
Hmm.
me. It's about us
Hmm.
and us lifting one another up and empowering one another. It was a I don't know you heard it is oh you can't work with women. Women are catty, women are this, women are that, women can't work together. And there's some out there.
Mm.
But when you find your good collective women and you put yourself in good spaces, y'all lift each other up.
Yeah.
And guess what? When the movement comes, the movement comes. So that's what it's all about. It's just empowering women to own their truth and be okay. I remember I was at work one day and it was a group of kids with say um a mentor. And she was saying, don't do this and don't do that. And, shh. And they would just look, they were young girls. And you can tell that she was basically saying, yes, there's a time and a place for everything. But I had to ask her why they can't be this and that. Because she was like, oh, you can't be this and you can't. They can be everything that they want to be, right? As women, we're told that first of all, you're supposed to be in the house barefoot and pregnant, right? And now we're a little past that, but you're supposed to just be doing this. You don't get to be doing this. Why I can't do it all? If I want to do it all, if I have the option and I want to do it all, why I can't do it all? So that's just me out here empowering women. And I've always been that person to speak life into another woman because I hold the word village very dear to my heart. It was a whole village of Harlem. It was a whole village of other people and women that came into my life and made me what I am today. So I'm just giving back what I always saw. Right. So it's just again one of those things that is second nature. So I was like, listen, it's gonna be a movement. And that's where Rocket Crown was built.
I love it. I love it. So you had you had the title, you had the badge, you had the role. So how 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 did you start feeling you again without all of that?
So it's interesting that you say that because I'm retired and I haven't tapped into anything with law enforcement, anything. And it's not, I loved my job dearly and I was committed to it. And the last couple years of me retiring, I really was in depth of being a part of the community. And I was in the community that raised me. So that was just, I just love going to work doing that. But it wasn't my identity. And I was actually, I couldn't wait to get out because it was holding me hostage on what I wanted to do for myself. Right? Yes, you hold this badge and you're representing a department or a culture that I can't, for me, I can't speak authentically myself. And when I'm out here talking to my community in these schools, I felt that I was doing a disservice because they need to know the truth. Yes, they see this officer in front of them, which is a beautiful thing, but I'm from your community. I actually understand what you're going through, but I can't get in depth with that for you to really understand that there's a other side to life because of the uniform that I wear. So I was very eager to get out of that uniform so I could be authentically myself and get out here and tell these kids. And it wasn't me, it's not me glorifying of how I was raised and where I came from, but in school, I can't tell you none of the speakers that came there. Why? Because they was up here talking about all those degrees and everything they had, and I was like, I'm this little girl from the hood. Now, okay,
The little girl in the
the
window.
little girl in the window, not trying to figure out what's out there. And you telling me that's girl, you across the bridge. I can't see you. But if I would have had somebody up there telling me their story and I could relate to that story, and now they tell me about the degrees and this and that, I'm up there like, "Ah, I see you." Right. So I think it's lost in the communication of why we're not reaching some of our kids. Is and I get it, you're in a professional role. So like me, I can't be standing up there talking about I was doing X, Y, and Z just to reach somebody's child and now I go lose my job. Right. So I understand that. But yeah, so I was eager to get out that uniform.
So heartbreak, right? Your heartbreak was losing yourself.
Yes.
How did you rebuild yourself? Like if there is a woman there listening to us, what are some practical strategies when, she started asking all these questions to herself and I'm like, oh my God, who am I? What did I do with my life? Which, if you're in this moment, you have to be here for a reason, which
Yeah.
is, good. So, what are some strategies that they can use to actually rebuild themselves and come forward from that heartbreak?
I would say for me, pray.
Yeah.
Be intentional with your prayer. Whoever you pray to,
Mm.
right? Be intentional with your prayer. Don't just say, I want to be a better person. I want to be a better person because I want to be a better person because this is what I see for myself. I'm not happy here, but we have to be honest with ourselves. But what we're happy with, what we're not happy with. And sometimes that means facing those difficulties. It might be in a marriage, it may be with your kids, it may be, with somebody you love. But at the end of the day, you come first and you're replaceable. So if you don't put yourself first, when you leave, somebody gonna replace you. Right? So you come first and pray, start practicing yoga, meditation, working out. Start just doing small things to fulfill yourself And you be surprised of the things that you realize or activate when you start pouring into yourself in those little small ways. Again, it doesn't have to be, I don't have to go take this whole boot camp class that I can't walk for 5 days, right? Until I get there at that level. No, I want to go to a yoga class. I want to go to a meditation class. If you don't have the funds, right? Fine. I have a friend who put a little prayer space in her closet. I was so shocked. I was like, right? But it's because she was yearning for that. And when you yearning for that
Yeah.
and you start putting yourself first, you find ways. You find ways to do things.
And God shows you way. Like we were talking before, we're actually part of the same coaching program, like book coaching
Yes.
program. I don't know how you call it, but and something that I really like about it is how faith plays a role, in Brian, Taria, Ash. And then I see it like every time we have the Monday calls,
Mm,
I see it. And for
mm,
me, pray has been amazing. And like I was raised Catholic, and I I don't know, maybe in my teens, it's like, I'm not going to go to church anymore because I don't trust those people, whatever. And I started, studying Kabbalah, the universe, like all these people saying different things. But for me, it's the same thing.
mm.
It's either a God, it's a universe, it's whatever it is. It could be different for people, but it's a force. And pray for me has been like, oh my god, like I feel so great when I have faith or certainty
Mm-hmm.
that there is a bigger power out
Than
there
you.
that is supporting me. And in understanding that, if I'm here for a reason, and that God has a purpose. And instead of saying, why me, I'm saying, okay, what do I need to learn from it? And the other strategies that you mentioned, like yoga, exercise, look, when I went through my heartbreak, two things that I did in the morning: I woke up, meditated for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I exercised for 1 hour. And I think that saved me for
That
sure.
that saved my life when my mother passed. It literally saved my life.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I cried through the workouts. I screamed through the workouts. And
Yeah.
literally, when I say
Mhm.
literally, I
Yeah.
cried.
Yeah.
It literally, I can't say that I've ever felt or been in a depression,
Hmm.
but I felt myself. I think that that's where I was going. I was falling into a dark place. And I was like, I was so scared because I'd never been there that I wouldn't come out. So I was like, you got to find something to pull you out of this. And I started working out, and it saved my life.
But had you worked out before?
So I had worked out before. Yeah, I used to love working out. Well, I still love working out, but I had the Peloton. So my friend was talking to me about it, and I was like, "You girl, you crazy. You crazy for buying that bike. That bike is expensive. You crazy." And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Whatever." My mother passed, and I'm laying on the couch one day, and my son and my wife was like, "You got to do something. We're worried about you." And I was scrolling, and I ordered the bike. And my wife came home. She had a fit. She was like, "If I see one piece of clothing on that bike, I'm gonna kill you."
Right, because that's what people do when they have the bag. They put all the clothes.
The
Okay.
bike, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
treadmill,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
becomes
I
a.
know, I know. My mom used to do that. Yeah.
So I got it, and for like 3, 4 years, it got to the point that I would get. I had to be to work 6:30 in the morning. I would get up at 3:30 in the morning, ride before I went to work, because I needed that to get me out of that hole, right? But I didn't realize it until the end. I was like, that bike saved my life. Because a lot of times we're going through the motions, we feel something, right? But we don't exactly know what it is. I felt that I was falling into a dark place. And then later I was like, oh, I was falling into depression. And it saved my life. And I tell people, walk. People, "Oh, I can't go run and walk. Go outside and walk. Go walk for half an hour. Talk to yourself. Right? People say talk to yourself is crazy. No, it's not. Talk to yourself. Just be connected. That's how faith is my biggest thing. I have this saying with my wife. I jump off the cliff or the mountain and she's like, Did you land? Because she's the more cautious one. And I'm like, we good, God got us, come on. Because I'm always the one like, listen, that's the only way to get to the other side is to jump off the mountain. There's no bridge, there's no nothing. So if we want to do something, let's just jump off the mountain. Well, what's the worst that we could do? We get a bunch of bruises, right? But I only do that because I pray on my way down. I know I'm supposed to
Yeah,
pray
because
before.
you have faith.
Right. I was before I jump, but I pray on my way down. I just say, God, can you just cushion my fall? Don't stop me from falling. Because if there's a lesson that I need to learn, I want to learn it. But just cushion so I could get back up. I want to be able to bounce back. And
Don't
that's
let me die,
yeah, don't let me
basically.
die pretty much.
A few broken bones, it's okay. Or don't let me die. Next time I'll be more cautious.
Exactly.
I think this has been a great conversation, Rocky. So we have talked about so many things, and maybe you're listening or watching this episode, and you thought, "Oh, she's gonna talk about like heartbreak, like real heartbreak from a relationship." But I mean, heartbreak comes in so many ways. It could be losing a job. It could be menopause. We were talking about it. It could be, empty, being empty
Empty.
nest, right? And the importance is how you deal with it. I mean, you said several beautiful things, baby steps. Just take that step because for everyone that you take, for every step that you take, you're going to be closer to the healing
Yeah.
or to the place that you want to be. Take accountability of your life. Your life is your life. Nobody's going to be here to save you. So if you play the victim role, you're never going to change your life and you're going to be stuck in the same place that you are right now. Um, and there's always hope.
Yeah. Always hope. Always hope.
I think that's summarizing. Maybe
There's
I'm just
always
kidding.
a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe there's light in the tunnel, maybe. Um, so at the end of the episode, I always ask three questions that you can answer in one word or one sentence. So the first one is if you could share one practice or mindset that truly helped you to heal after your heartbreak when you realize, oh my God, who am I? Like the strong one. What would that be?
Hashtag D got shit to do.
Hashtag what?
Hashtag D got shit to do.
Okay, explain.
I ain't got time for nobody mess. D got shit to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, she's like one sentence. That's the one sentence. I'm not going to explain anymore. Well, thank you. Anyway, so you said that it was a few years ago that you realized this heartbreak in your life. If you had to go back to that place and meet the Rocky that it was going through all that pain, what would you say to her with everything that you know right now?
People is interesting that you say that. I used to say tell it to my mother. People are going to people, right? People are gonna do with you to you what they're just used to doing because that's what people do. You have to set your boundaries and you have to create your sacred space, right? Nobody's going to give you that. We think so. You're not giving me that. No, 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 no. They're not. And is again, I used to tell my mother that all the time. And that's a boundary that I used to have. But then after she passed, I think a overwhelmingly part of me was like, I gotta save, I gotta save, I gotta save, right? And I felt myself being her. And it was like, I had to remind myself, you can't be mad at them. They doing what they know what they doing. That's what they do. Especially with the certain, they just do that. It's up to you to create that space. So until you take ownership and take control over your space and your mind and you, nobody gonna give you that. And you can't be mad at them for not.
Um, I love boundaries, and I never understood boundaries like I do now after 40 something years that I came back here to the United States after my breakup. And I started seeing all my friends and my family prioritizing their kids, their work. And I mean, I left here and we were single and partying and everything. So we're part of a clan. And then, I realized, like, well, like, where are they when I need them? They're not here. And I started, oh, that's what it feels when you prioritize yourself, when you have the boundaries
Yes.
of saying no, because every time that you say yes, getting in the flight, right, to
Yeah.
save somebody, you're saying no to yourself. So I think that's a great, great question, answer. And the last one, what do you think the word badass mean to you? Or what does it mean to you?
Oh, what the word badass means to me. Go back to being your authentic, unapologetic self, right? Um, People will frown upon a word because of the first word bad, right? But it just means you bossing up, you being the boss over your life. And that's what we supposed to do. You're the CEO over your life. So you should be the badass over your life.
The boss of you. Rocky, this conversation was amazing.
Yes,
I
yes.
can't wait to see you tomorrow and Sunday as well. Um, I love everything. I think I already summarized it before. And for you, you're listening to this or you're watching this, remember, every time you share this kind of content, more women are going to be able to see it and maybe benefit out of
Yes.
that. And our research says that 90% of you are not subscribers. So you're watching the podcast, but you haven't subscribed. So please subscribe so more people can actually benefit from this. Do you have a final saying before I have my final saying?
Um, just take care of yourself. And a lot of times we're going through the motions and we don't realize that we're putting ourselves on a back burner. But honestly, your body sent you signs. God sent you signs. And we chose or choose not to listen. We have to listen to those signs. And sometimes that's just taking a moment and saying, why was I in traffic and I'm late to work? You frustrated about being late to work. This is just an example. Maybe somebody was going to aggravate you today, right? Maybe something was going to happen. Take that moment for yourself and say, well, thank God, thank you for giving me these extra 5, 10 minutes to myself to help with that job, right? We have to, and again, it's back to those little things. Thank you for this 5 or 10 minutes because I needed this time to breathe. You're running with the kids, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you just find yourself at work. Now you just flustered. Thank you for that 5 or 10 minutes. So be thankful for those times that you get to yourself and you just get to pour into yourself. Yeah. You come first.
I love it. You come first. And remember, your heart didn't break you, it woke you up. So now go live like the badass that you are.